Today's video will teach you how to paint the illusion of motion in a curling wave with step-by-step directions. Welcome to Acrylic Arts Academy. We teach the world to paint. Subscribe to this channel to see even more helpful acrylic painting videos. Hit the bell icon when subscribing to be notified of our upcoming tutorials. For this tutorial, you'll need a round brush like this, a fan brush, a mop brush, and a 1-inch flat brush. A 1/2-inch flat brush works just fine if you don't have a 1-inch. You'll also need white, black, green, and blue paint. If you don't have these colors or brushes, check out the description below for product links. First, let's paint the sky. For this part, you'll need a 1-inch flat brush and sky blue, which can be mixed by adding lots of white and a dash of blue. Paint the top half of your canvas using this color, using wide side-to-side brush strokes, as you see here. Do your best to create a straight line across the canvas, but don't worry if it's imperfect. As you work upward, scoop up a little bit more white paint with your brush and add it to the canvas. The result is a nice gradient that makes the sky look dynamic. Next, we'll begin to paint the wave. For this portion, you'll need a clean 1-inch flat brush, primary blue, and a bit of black paint. Load up your brush with primary blue paint and apply this color to the bottom left corner of the canvas. Use sweeping brush strokes upward as you see here. This simple technique will begin to portray movement in the water. Let's use a wet-on-wet blending technique without washing the brush by adding a bit of black to the corner over the top of the blue you just added. Use the same type of brush strokes here. Clean off this brush and add a little piece of blue where we have done so here. This design will make more sense as we move forward. Keep adding primary blue to this swoop design, moving upward. Next, we'll need teal paint. Let's mix this color by adding equal parts blue and green together. If the color is too dark, add just a touch of white. Do your best to match the color we have featured here. We must add this color to our design before the blue paint dries. Use the same wet-on-wet blending technique to marry these two colors together within the wave. As these two colors blend, they'll become less distinct, and that's okay. Use the blue-teal mixture in the same sweeping motion until these two pieces are blended together to your liking in a curled wave shape. Let's continue building out this wave. We'll need a 1/2-inch flat brush and very light teal paint. Very light teal can be made by adding lots of white to the teal color you created previously, but don't use all of it. Remember, you can create more teal by mixing equal parts blue and green. Use a flat brush to add very light teal to the underside of this curling wave structure. It helps to apply the paint in this swoop shape as it lends itself to the water's movement. Continue by adding this color to the top layer under the wave's curl, and also use any remaining color to add tiny flourishes to the water surface as you see here. Let's also add very light teal at the top of the wave. We are beginning to create movement in splashy seafoam at the top of this wave's curl. It's okay if the paint is blending in as you add these flourishes. That's ideal as we use a wet-on-wet blending technique. Using a flat brush and light teal paint, begin adding another round of flourishes to the water. These small slicing lines serve to show us movement within the water. There's a lot of kinetic energy that we're portraying using these techniques. Add as many or as few of these short horizontal lines to this part of the wave. As the paint begins to blend in fully and work itself off the brush, add a few of these flourishes in a curling pattern up the side of the wave on the right of our canvas. As this wave curls over, the previous wave's water rushes back at the same time, as is the perpetual nature of waves. For this part, we'll use a clean half-inch flat brush and light blue paint. Use some sky blue color from before or make a very light blue using lots of white and a touch of blue. Paint a mini wave facing the larger prominent one as you see here. Apply the paint in a curling motion and blend some more white in as you continue this phase. As the paint naturally works itself off the paintbrush while you're adding this color, move toward the crest of the large wave. Apply some of this light blue very sparingly across the top edge of the wave, just above the water. It's okay if this part doesn't show up very well. The subtlety works for us in this instance. When you reach this right side of the canvas, start swirling your brush in larger circles, allowing the paint to fade as you work. This will help us create sea spray. Repeat this step by adding a little more paint to your brush and following the same pattern. This time, when you reach the right side of the canvas, add some of this color to the top edge of the wave in a bolder manner. Simply use the flatness of your brush to tap this highlight onto the canvas horizontally. Now we'll switch to a round brush in either white paint or very light teal. Find the top of your cresting wave and use a stamping motion to add small bits of bright color. This will act as the seafoam. Choose various areas that make sense, as we have here, to add this bright colored seafoam and spray to this form. Repeat another layer over the top of the wave as necessary to make the color pop. Using a stamping motion helps to show movement without blending out all the brush strokes. Now let's add some defining details. For this portion, you'll need a medium round brush and various colors that we've used previously. Use a stamping motion and a light touch to add small pieces of teal to the tip of the wave, as you see us doing here. As you continue, clean off your brush and use teal to elongate the wave's curve or punch up a color anywhere in the water portion of this image. You can use any variation of colors to do this, follow your creative intuition, and add the various colors where needed. This step is about refining and defining the created form. When you're happy with what you've added, switch to the white paint and punch up the color of the seafoam. Use white paint and a light touch to add bright, splashy highlights. When necessary, use a dry or mostly dry mop brush and a swirling motion to blend out color. This type of brush can also be used with a small amount of white paint and the same technique to brighten certain areas of the seafoam. While doing this part, you may find you need to add a little bit more white paint to the crest, and a round brush will help you do so. Work back from the sky toward the crest using sky blue paint if you've added too much white. It's an easy fix. In this step, we'll create contrast. You can use a round brush or a fan brush to do this. We'll be utilizing white, blue, and black separately. Paint small arched lines while pulling back towards the right side of the canvas. You can use a fan brush or a round brush to do this. Take as much time as you need to add these little flourishes. They'll all help to portray movement. To punch up the contrast of this image, add more shadow to the underside of this wave. To do so, you can use blue, a bit of black, and a wet-on-wet blending technique as we previously did. Carefully blend upward at the same curvature as the wave to incorporate these colors in seamlessly. Continue until you're pleased with the look. Great work! Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time. Begin your acrylic painting journey by taking one of our free courses. Just visit acrylicartsacademy.com/free courses to get started.